Okay, so we're working with the Revolve, that sort of thing, with a basic, just a basic solid body, that sort. But I wanted to show you how to use a couple of the other tools like Project and Emboss specifically. So let me hop over to Fusion. You can, but hang on a second. All right. So simple thing here is what I wanted to show you is we played around a little bit with like cutting holes in, and now this one has been modified even more. I use the circle tool or the circle pattern tool to modify the upper lip, all that sort. So let me show you a couple of things of how you could do stuff like this. Main thing is I wanted to show you how you can make more details like on the surface, like the lip, but also how you can wrap things around the outer surface. So they basically work the same thing. The first is I'm going to show you how to make like a scalloped edge on the top and such. So how you would do that is just like anything before, start a sketch. Starting a sketch on the XZ plane, there we go. Now the trick is I'm going to be drawing this sketch inside the bowl here, excuse me, but I need to reference the bowl itself. So what I can do is I can borrow the outline of this bowl with the project tool. You could just press P, like Pennsylvania on your keyboard, or down to create, project include, project tool. You have a couple of options. Selection, you can specify some details or just the overall body. That's what I want. Select the body, and you can see as I mouse over, the outline turn red, hit OK. Now, when I hide this body, I now have an outline of that ball form, this body. Ultimately, the thing is that is showing me what the absolute outside edge of this shape is. Really convenient way to just borrow components, borrow outlines and stuff so you can refer back to that when you're drawing sketches. So with that, I can even hide the body again. And what I want to be able to do is make just kind of like a detailed edge or something. So let's see here. What sounds good? I could do like a fit point spline, but let me start instead with a circle tool. I want to use a 2-point circle. Reason for that is I can select just the absolute edge and draw down somewhere, I don't know, let's say 10 millimeters. Okay, cool. Excuse me. From here, I could then do something like, yeah, we'll use a fit point spline from that bottom edge, and let's just kind of draw like some kind of like, just some kind of a drawing doodle or something. Cool. There we are. And sure, that works. I'm going to make this on both sides. So let's use the mirror tool, which is this little two triangles side by side. Select my object, just that line, my mirror line. I need a mirror line. Sometimes it'll let you select the origin line. In this case, it does. Great. I made a butt. I can see it. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee that. Anyway, yeah, exactly. This is recorded on the internet now. Excellent. My butt vase. Okay, excellent. Finish sketch. Unhide the body to make a butt face. Can't undo it. Extrude, select all the things, and I'm just going to extrude forward so it cuts a butt into the edge. I'm not going to stop now. Select OK. Great. And of course, you can round this out, add a fillet just to that so it makes a little bit of a curve. Let's say 1 millimeter. Oh, too much. Let's say 0.5. Slightly roundy. Excellent. From there, now I can use the circle tool again, or the circle pattern rather. Circle pattern. There we are. I need to select the faces. We can try with features. The idea is features selects the entirety of that, but sometimes it's a little stubborn depending on the complexity of the shape. So we'll select with faces. Detail with this is you have to make sure to zoom in and select all of those faces. Gets a little tedious. Also, I'm having trouble seeing what I'm doing. So I'm going to use Shift in, Shift November to change colors so I can see it a little more clearly because the base color was being shown as blue and the selection filter color is blue. So it was just really tripping me up. Maybe I was able to select the features and I just couldn't see it. Yep, that's exactly what was happening. There we go. So select feature by feature or by faces. Feature selects the whole iteration. Great. Now I just use whatever axis I'm revolving around. Again, the z-axis. And there we go. Now I have those features. Now the detail here is I'm going to keep adding them until I make that whole feature pretty much close up right close to the edge. Great. That actually matches up pretty darn close. Hit OK. It's going to calculate. Now I've created that entire feature around my butthole. So let's go ahead and save that for posterity or posteriority. I'm tired. All right. Edge tool. All right. So with that, that's all well and good. But what if I wanted like texture on the surface, something like that? Instead of using extrude, the other tool we're going to be using is emboss. Now, the difference between emboss and extrude is extrude only goes one dimension straight out or forward or whatever direction. Emboss is more of like a three-dimensional offset tool. It allows you to create raised or lowered surfaces dependent on the curvature of the surface itself. Now, this used to be a more simplified tool. It has gotten significantly better, but let's see how it works on this surface here. Now, often enough, what the emboss tool requires is you to actually have your sketch, your drawing, floating out in front of your object. So to do that, we have to create a construction plane, which is just like these planes on the origin plane here. Your origins here, the XZ, the XY, and the YZ. To create a construction plane floating out in space, I go over to construct, bless you, and it's actually the very first one, offset plane. So that is just a plane offset away from a selected plane. And I'm going to select the one we've been sketching on, the XZ plane. And I'm just going to drag that plane somewhere out in front of my bowl. If you need to, let's make it an even 100 because reasons. Okay, so from there, I can just create my sketches right there. Now, again, if I want, I could use the project tool, borrow the surface of my bowl, hit OK, and now it is floating out in front. So if I need that reference, there we are. And what I want to do is just add like some detail ridges. You could add text, doesn't matter. First, I'm going to add just a circle right in the center. Let's make it 10 millimeters. Might as well. All right. Now, what I wanted to do is experiment with making like a ridge surface around the thing. How I could do that is, yeah, I could make the one circle, make a whole bunch of dots, yada, yada, yada. But easiest way is also the other pattern tool is rectangle pattern. And what this does is, whereas obviously circle pattern makes a pattern in a circle, this one is a rectangle, more of like a matrix. So select there. I've got my feature, and now I drag how many I want out. You could, of course, select it by however many you want, 3, 5, 25, whatever. Let's just do by 3 for now, not 53, just 3. There we are. But you also have selections over here. I want this to be symmetrical. Let's go in both directions. So now the distance it's showing is by overall distance. And whatever makes sense to you. Let's see here. It was a 10 millimeter circle, so let's make this 10 millimeters apart. A little too close because that's right on the edge. Let's give it a little bit of a gap. 15? Sure. All right. But let's make this a little bit more complex. Let's go in symmetric up and down as well. Same deal, 15. Just making a simple grid. All right. So now I have that finished sketch. So what I can do with this now, go to create and emboss, and I can select these profiles. Now I have to select all of them because I used that projection of the edge. That's okay. And I need to select the face I want it to emboss onto. It's the bowl I made. Select that, and you can now see it makes those points come off, but in curvature. A little bit hard to see because I have that sketch right there. Super effective. Emboss is pushing out. Deboss is the other option, pulling inward, cuts in. You can select you can of course set the depth, currently negative, which is deboss. If I make it positive, like by 5, it's going to switch automatically to emboss, which pushes outward. There you go. Neat. Hit OK. Sketch goes away, all that kind of fun. So there you go. From there, the detail would be, well, let's put some fillets on those. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to select all of the faces. Sometimes it's a little awkward to grab. Keep grabbing the edge instead of the face. There we are. And let's make some curvature on that. 5, too much. 3. There we go. Little bumps. Okay. So this would be a great way to like add texture to the surface. From here, now I can go back to like my circle pool pattern, but let's save there. Emboss. Go to my circle pattern. And this is definitely where I'd be selecting features. And I'm just going to select all those. But the great thing is it selects it as a group. Cool. Select my axis to revolve around. You can obviously see where I'm going with this. Make a bunch more. Now, ideally, what you could actually do is just make this a lot more complex, meaning like instead of just this grid of 9, have added more of them. But you can use the combined effect of the grid pattern or the rectangle pattern and circle pattern. And it's got to calculate. This is why I say you definitely save, because it might take a bit. Also, save before you do something more involved, because it might crash. Hey, it worked. Cool. So just wanted to show you a quick way, and let me shift colors, shift in, so you can kind of see a bit more a bit more ways you can add a lot of features here. Now, granted, this would be super ridiculous to print because you have to create all these features or you have to create scaffolding for all these stuff. So this would be like, yeah, definitely make that emboss a lot smaller or anything like that. But just wanted to show you a quick way you could make some interesting features to this project or anything else. The emboss tool actually works quite effectively with curved surfaces and complex surfaces now. So yeah, experiment with it, play around with it. These are not requirements, but it's a neat thing you can have access to. All right, play about. Thank you. Still recording. There it is.